Welcome to the Seattle Real Estate with Urban Ash, your go-to podcast for all things Seattle and Seattle real estate. Whether you're a first-time homebuyer, an experienced investor, downtown resident, or simply just curious about the latest market trends, we've got you covered. I'm Urban Ash, a 20-plus year downtown resident and real estate professional. Together, we'll uncover insider tips, share expert insights to help you navigate the market, and showcase community leaders and organizations. So join me as we dive into everything from the rental and sales market to the rich community life that makes Seattle so unique. All right, thanks for joining today. We're going to be chatting with Ami. She is a sales manager over at Optima McDowell Mountain, which is a brand new project in Scottsdale that's going to be completing in 2027. She also has some ties to the Pacific Northwest. She actually worked on the sales team at Spire, so it's nice to see a familiar face. For those who are familiar with the Optima projects in either Phoenix or Scottsdale or around the nation, they have a very distinct style and look to them. A lot of mirrored glass, a lot of lush greenery, terraces, resort style amenities, and there's a few new features that Optima is bringing to market with Optima McDowell Mountain as well. So we'll learn about that here, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. All right, Ami, let's get started here. Thank you so much for meeting this morning. Very excited to kind of learn about Optima McDowell Mountain, to just kind of bring the information, I guess, to our people that we have here in the Pacific Northwest who choose to kind of go back and forth, maybe looking for an investment property or actually looking just purely to relocate. Love the location of the community. I do personally. I know that you guys have a lot of great amenities. It's kind of going to be more of like resort style living. And so wanted to kind of just talk to you a little bit about the property and project in general.
Fantastic. Yeah, thank you for having me. This is such a fun little opportunity. Yeah, I'm happy to talk about the project. The project is by far the largest project that Optima has done thus far here in Arizona. It is a total of 6 buildings on 22 acres. And we're right on the corner of Scottsdale Road and Mayo, which is, you know, as Optima has been really good about finding locations, they're always near shopping, amenities, access to the freeway. This one definitely is right there, so you can get to anywhere in the valley for like the next 20 or 30 minutes, anywhere you need to go, which is a huge hit with people who still commute and have to go to work. It is, yeah, we're really excited about the project. So the community is comprised of 6 buildings total. 4 of them are leasing towers and 2 of them are condo towers. We're now selling the first condo tower, which has a total of 196 homes originally. I think we're probably, by the time that we're done, we'll end up with about 170 homes in that range, as buyers are able to combine homes, which has been very popular for those who have been downsizing. It's been a really positive result, I think people are super excited about it because they are able to be flexible.
Yeah, that's great. As far as the floor plan plate, you want to talk a little bit about that? You said you had some downsizers, so I imagine you have some that are kind of in that little bit of a larger square footage.
Yeah, we have, so our square footages start, we have a combination of 1, 2, 2.5, and 3 bedrooms. The square footages range from 729 square feet to 2218, and that would be the largest 3-bedroom that we have. And as you mentioned, we do have a lot of downsizers coming from very large homes, and they're wanting to right size for their lifestyle and what they believe they're going to need, because while they might be empty nesters and their kids might be leaving, they always want a place for them to come home to. So we have been combining homes, putting a few floor plates together, and with our architects, and that has been really, really a popular thing during our pre-sales. That is where we were also inviting people who are looking forward to doing that. And Optum has a lot of loyalists, so they have people that follow them through and then want to, you know, get creative with what they already know Optima has done, and then roll that into the next building.
Yep. So kind of what strikes me, just because you see the Optima projects all around town and you're like, oh, that's definitely, one of theirs. If you want to share just kind of some of those key attributes that I guess the buildings kind of always consistently have.
Yeah, Optima is really big on form and function. Sustainability has been the forefront of everything that they have done really from the beginning. It's really how their design actually ended up looking the way it does, where you see the lush landscaping coming out from from off the balconies. And they really think through these things where, you know, Arizona heat is very persnickety. So, you know, you have certain plants that are viable in certain size of the building. So depending on the exposure inside of the building you want, they have different landscaping and plants that they would basically tell the homeowner, these are the plants that thrive on your side of the building, and it actually changes as you move around the building. And for McDowell Mountain specifically, they have a new added sustainability feature where they're building the largest water retention facility in the US on this property, which actually gives water back to the city of Scottsdale. And there'll be a 12-acre park in this community, so it'll help with just keeping that lush and attractive for all the PNWs who are looking forward to like all the lush landscaping that they're used to. They won't miss it if they come down to Arizona at Optima McDowell Mountain.
Great. And then why don't you talk a little bit about the amenities too? Because I having that resort style living where you have, you know, all those things just kind of right at your doorstep is definitely something that's key too.
Yeah, the amenities, I would say, have been the highlight of what draws people in. Optima is really good about talking to their previous homeowners and asking them their feedback. So it's not rinse and repeat. They're not building another building. They're not redoing another building that they've done. It's always an improvement. On this building, we do have added a lot of added amenities. There are 2 outdoor pickleball courts, 1 indoor pickleball court. It's America's favorite sport. So I think, you know, they wanted to play up to how popular that's become. Our fitness facility is 4,600 square feet. We've added a Pilates studio with reformers. There's an indoor and outdoor yoga studio. Additionally, they've added a kids playroom, and on the sky deck and the ground amenities, you do have a cold plunge and a spa. The sky deck now has an Olympic-sized pool, so it's 150 meters, which has been the big headliner for the roof. When you see it, it's just really like resort style. You've got cabanas surrounding it, a complete 360 view from the top. It's really lovely. It's got something for everybody. There's basketball courts. There's also indoor movie theater, and then we've got obviously the party rooms with the outdoor fire pits and the outdoor kitchens with misters and TVs. So, you know, you pick your adventure is kind of how it rolls here.
Yep. And then as far as commercial spaces or any retail spaces that are on street level?
There will be on the leasing towers, not on the condo towers. So there will be leasing in the leasing buildings. There will be commercial space for coffee shops and restaurants. I know they're getting close to getting some exciting people in there, and people have been really looking forward to this location. To opening up their own little businesses.
Great. And now as far as parking goes, because that's always a question that you have, you want to explain that and how that works with the homes?
For sure. All our parking is underground. It's going to be 2 levels of parking. There will be EV parking available for purchase. And parking is included with your purchase here at McDowell Mountain. 1 bedrooms get 1 parking spot, 2 and 3 bedrooms get 2 parking spots. If there are leftover parking, then, you know, we can have that conversation for an additional fee. There's also storage down in the parking garage as well. So if people do need various sizes of storage, that is available for purchase as well.
Great. Do you want to talk a little bit about pricing and kind of where things are starting?
Yeah, our pricing on the 1 bedrooms, we've got several floor plans on the 1 bedrooms starting in the mid 6s. The square footage on the 1 bedrooms start at 729, and they actually go all the way up to 1124, which is the size of some 2 bedrooms in certain buildings. So there is a lot of opportunity on the 1 bedrooms. They go into the low millions on the 1 bedrooms just because of the size. 2 bedrooms start right under $1 million, and they go into the 2.5 million price point. And then the 3 bedrooms start at 1.4 and they go to 3 million. If you'd like to combine, there is a $75,000 fee that comes along with the combination of putting that home together if you do need a little bit larger square footage.
Great. And then delivery of these, you said were spring 2027.
Yeah, they'll be.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, spring 27. So we'll be starting in April closings, and then they should go through September on the top floors.
Gotcha. And then you're doing kind of some virtual tours, or how if someone were to want to get more information or just to kind of get the lay of the land and maybe they're not in town now, what would be the best way of doing that?
Yeah, they would just get a hold of our sales team and we would then schedule a Zoom or a Teams meeting and go through the presentation as if they were here at the sales gallery. We do have very uh, lovely AI generated interactive presentation that we have available for the buyers. It really just takes you through where your home would be located. We're able to turn the building. You can see the views from whichever location you are interested in. So it really does give people a really good idea of what they're purchasing.
Gotcha. And then how about the finished package, just in terms of like maybe color scheme and just appliances and all that?
So we have on the floors 2 through 6, we have a package that's included. You definitely don't need to upgrade if you don't want to, but there are options where we have a design team that you would work with and they would help you go through and pick out. We've put palettes together, so there is some inspiration, but Optima really does want the homeowner to be as creative as they need to be, and obviously they're used to living in some of our buyers are used to living in larger homes and they have certain comforts that they want to bring into their condo. So we definitely accommodate for those things. So that's been a really huge selling point for us, because then you can customize to a certain point, which is really what people sometimes are looking for. And if you are not someone who wants to do that, then we definitely have palettes and things that we put together, so it can be just kind of plug and play.
Great. And then talking about the like HOA, what's included, and if you have an average price per square foot on what people could expect.
Sure. Our HOAs range anywhere from 84 to 93 cents a square foot. And that's going to be based on floor and height and where you are. And they include pretty much everything. They'll include your water, your amenities, your common area insurance, etc. The only additional bill you would have would be electricity.
Gotcha. Okay. And are the heating and cooling systems, is it one central system that goes to the units, or the individual heat pumps in the unit
We're on a single pipe system, so there is a main on the top of the building for the whole building.
Yeah. Okay, great. And I know, we for those who don't know, you had a little bit of back and forth. You came up to Seattle and then actually relocated down to Arizona too. So that was in, like you said, in the 2020, 2021 timeframe. Is that right?
Yeah, I was in Seattle for about 18 months in 2020. And then I relocated here to Arizona in 2022. So I definitely understand what that looks like. As far as moving from that environment into this one. And I feel a lot of people do that. All the people I meet have been either from Chicago or Seattle. We're actually getting some people here who live in Colorado, and they're wanting to spend a portion of their time here. So that's been really really fun to see and meet people that have kind of done the kind of circle that I've done.
Yeah, that's great. And then you could kind of identify with the things that they're kind of trying to work themselves through. I think that's a good way of just kind of connecting and be able to help people through the process for sure. I think been very efficient this month.
Yeah, we have penthouses. So our penthouse level floors, they actually have 10-foot ceilings, so they are different from floors 2 through 6. The total there are 8 floors in the building. So floors 2 through 6 have a certain package. They can certainly upgrade to the penthouse level if they'd like to. And those have Snidero and Sub-Zero Wolf appliances in those homes that come standard. So that's been something that people would like to know and listen to, like as far as what to know about the building. Like every building has nuances. This is ours.
Okay, gotcha. And then I'm assuming every unit has a terrace of some sort, correct?
Every unit has a terrace. I mean, if you're from the Midwest, some of those terraces are sized to some bedrooms. So, so I think they will be pleasantly surprised with the size of our terraces, big or small, in comparison to the unit. They're definitely getting a lot of private outdoor space in addition to the top floors.
Yeah, great. Do you want to get any like history of Optima in general?
Yeah, Optima's been around for the last 40 years. It was started by David Senior and Eileen Hovey. David is the architect and Eileen has been the sales and marketing arm for the last 40 years. They started out in Chicago. They started out with just one 4-unit building. Every year they then doubled and kind of just have had this really really nice build throughout the history. They came to the Arizona market in the year 2000, so now they've been here for 25 years. Optima McDowell Mountain is their 5th community here. They started out with Biltmore. Then they've got Sonoran Village and Camel View, which was at that time the largest project that they had done out here. That one has about 1,300 doors. And then in 2016, they started with the Kierland project, which has been wildly successful. I mean, I have a lot of friends that live there, and that really, I think, set the tone. It's like, it's right by the mall. So when people pass by there, they're like, oh, there's that building with the beautiful landscaping and architecture. And this one, I think, will also be a huge showstopper just because of location and every building has a theme, right? Like Camel View has blue windows, Kierland has green windows, McDowell Mountain has bronze windows to mesh with the mountains. So they're very thoughtful about how they build, and I admire that they really look back and talk to their previous homeowners and ask what it is that we could do better. And I think that's always a great signature of a developer that you want to buy into, because they are always looking to improve, and they want people to be happy. And I think that is why I love working for them.
Yeah, that's great. And then also the fact that they're doing both the condos and the leasing towers too. Sometimes you find developers will just choose and pick one or the other, but it's nice to be diverse and have, you have 2 sets of residents. You have your homeowners, and then you have your tenants, and so they complement each other.
Very much so. People love that. They can buy into a Kierland condo. They alternatively can live in that lifestyle and rent if that's what their life determines at that time. So I think it's really a great model. It's worked for them for so long, and I don't see that stopping anytime soon.
Right. And then do you want to speak of, for someone who wants to be an investor, I'm assuming there's no short-term rentals allowed in the building, but do you know anything about like the rules for just renting in general?
Sure. Yeah. Minimum rental is at 6 months. There's no short-term rentals for Airbnbs or VRBOs. And they were really thoughtful about that, because we do have people who only live here 6 months out of the year. They live in probably the Midwest or a colder climate, and then they want to spend the colder months here while it's warm. So they can have the opportunity to rent out their unit for 6 months and then come back and live in it for 6 months. So that's been just the minimum of 6 months. If people want to rent it out for a little bit longer, they're obviously welcome to do so.
Okay. And is there a rental cap that's set forth in the rules and regulations or anything like that?
The standard 51% owner occupancy. Obviously, if people want to trade their home, they certainly should have the opportunity to do so. So that's where that's at.
Yep. Great. All right. Well, thank you. I don't think I have any other questions. I'm looking forward to kind of tracking the progress and visiting as different milestones happen with construction and whatnot. And it was nice visiting with you again this morning.
You too. Thank you for having me. And yeah, we're getting ready to get your team in here. So that'll be nice to have them come by.
Great. Good. All right. Well, thank you. We'll be reposting this and posting your contact information. And if there's any questions anyone has about the project itself, please reach out. We'd love to assist you. So thank you so much, everyone.
Okay. Thanks. Bye-bye.